you presented them was just wonderful.
Thank you, thank you, Gabby.
Thank you, sweetie.
Sorry. I had originally chosen to just do one dance because I wanted some visceral, try and get a visceral experience because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But then I just wanted, that wasn't personal enough for me. So, so I chose these. I know I wrote some of you that I was doing Primitive Mysteries, but I threw Primitive Mysteries out and did this.
I thought it was great to learn so much, and there's so much that to take from it, and yet the poems were so lyrical at the same time, and just beautifully done.
Thank you, Mary Gay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jean,
Hi, Jean.
No. Okay.
Go ahead.
Your stories are they are storytelling, and that's what you just follow the story from beginning to end. And there's one thing that at some point over a cup of coffee, I want to know about the person who tried to trip you on stage because I was right there to.
No, I'm misunderstood. That was in rehearsal.
Oh, okay.
The final rehearsal.
But she wanted to get you fired, and
yes.
Oh my God.
She just screamed. I had no idea about what I was supposed to do in this dance. It was not a whole lot, but she just screamed from the wings. She just screamed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the things that stay with you, but what a story it makes in your poem. Thank you, Jean.
Yeah.
I could feel my body moving with yours. Even though I know nothing about dance or Martha Graham, I could feel my elbows and knees from everything you said. I felt like I had danced.
Wow.
Oh, thank
you. Wow.
Yes, you made it seem so immediate. I felt it too. I felt like I felt the stage. I felt your excitement. I felt you moving, and it was almost like watching dance on video. And I used to be a dancer. And so when I watch dancers on video, my body twitches, because my muscles are dancing. And I felt that while you were reading the poems too, just kind of like moving too. It was wonderful.
Oh, I'm really glad. I'm really it makes me very happy.
A bunch of people are saying wonderful things to you on the chat. Don't forget to look.
I will. I'm so low tech that I'm afraid of switching, and then I won't get back, that kind of thing. Anyway, but I will look. Yeah.
And your experience is so unique. I felt like it was a real blessing to us to get to hear all of that from your personal point of view.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Jean, I really enjoyed, I'm getting an echo. I really enjoyed hearing these from the ground kind of poems. I've heard many that you've read during the open, and I wonder if you had a collection or a chapbook of them.
Jeanette, I just finished. It's taken me 4 years to get this volume together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them have been published in different journals and online. But now I'm putting the whole thing together and into a book. So that's the stage I'm at. And yeah.
Jean, thank you for transporting all of us into these amazing experiences. It is such a gift. I have a question for you, if it's okay.
Yes. This is my sister-in-law, by the way, Lou Rassing.
Champion of the Chicago fan club for sure. Jean, if you were to reflect on Martha,
Yes.
Hearing your stories and your experience, help us reflect, what might Martha say or feel upon sharing these reflections?
That's an interesting question, though. I think that she would be happy that I only talked once about her alcoholism in the volume. And it was not it was an open secret. Oh, sorry. I mean, the thing about being one of the things you knew about being in the company is where she hid her bottles. And she had, her own, and one of those toilets with a tank, a cold tank, and she hid them in the tank. Anyway, that's how I was in the company. One of the ways, but I don't know. I mean, I think she would be excited and a complexity of things. She might correct my movement. But I think, she would appreciate. I have a whole long poem about, actually, Bertram Ross was her alter ego, and he contributed a lot of movement. For example, in this poem, The Rape of Troy in Clytemnestra, she would tell him, look, I want, and in the company at that time were very tall men, like 6'2", whatever, and, muscular, I mean, what is it called? That muscle man type. And she would tell him, look, I want this hunk effect, and go off and do, and invent something, and, we'll work with it. I mean, he was amazing, and he was I also danced in his company. And so he said, the most beautiful thing he said, I interviewed him at one point when I became a dance journalist, the beauty is in the making. And Lou, I think of you, I think of everyone, because that's where the fire comes from, the making of it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they have to refine it and do all that stuff. But the beauty is, anyway, so she was very reliant on him, and he was very giving himself. He used to show up and do this and whatever.
One other thing that I really appreciated was the color of the characters around the entire experience, and you could get a sense of the community around the physical experience. It was filled with other characters, and what a gift, Jean. Thank you so much. Just so enjoyed it.
You're welcome. You're welcome, honey.
Yeah, I really loved a couple of things. One thing I really loved was the whole controversy, or not controversy, but the politics of what color to wear, and the leotards, because we had that too, and Ballet Peak was not cool. It was really great. Just the professional standard, and I could see people in those dance leotards. And the other part was how on stage your eyes met with your foe, and it was an electric moment. And I love the way you described that in your poem, that there is almost a place for that friction, in creative work, where on stage it's makes things more electric. And dancers are notorious for friction. So dancers and dance troops and being very competitive, I guess, is the thing.
It wasn't, I mean, the company, yes, it is always competitive. But the competitiveness was at its highest when there was a new member in the company. So
Right. Oh, thanks for bringing that into it. I love that part.
So how old were you when that happened?
How old was I? I was in my 20s, my mid-20s.
Young.
Well, 20, 23. I'm terrible with time, but something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see photos of you, Jean.
Yeah, I would.
Yes. I'm ashamed to say I don't have that many.
I hope you put it in manuscript.
I was just busy doing it, and I don't know. Whatever. I do have some, though. I have a great photo of Martha when I describe her, looking at all of us, what she created. It was like she had tears in her eyes. She was standing with her hands like this before, watching us exercise. And it was, I have that photo. We were photographed by Life magazine. Some of the photos were they came to photograph Bertram Ross and our company. And I have some from that, but they also got these photos, a couple from Martha, and they gave it to us. They gave the photos to us. So we don't have to, I don't know who else has any, but we don't have to copyright or anything,
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Well, you should put a photo in your book,
Yes.
in your collection.
Oh yeah, I will. Well, that's interesting. That's a good suggestion.
Well, I'm the second person to say that. Someone already said it.
Oh, okay.
Jean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Jean, when was that live photograph? Do you remember the dates?
I'd have to rethink the dates. Somewhere in the, I'm terrible with time, Elaine. I'll get back to you, okay?
Sure.
Jean,
Thank you.
yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say something. One of the things that works so well with the poems I've heard is that you've created a really beautiful balance between the narrative and the lyric. You describe the event, but you do it in a lyrical way. And knowing that it comes from such a personal experience makes all of the work resonate so much deeper. I really appreciated it.
Thank you.
I felt the same way about the description of the Russians. I felt like you're telling us that story. I mean, I was alive then, but it made me feel like you added to my past, because now I know that, and I know it in a way that feels like I was there because of the way you described it. It feels like part of my history now.
I still get goosebumps when I think of that. It's like bigger than ever.
Yeah, I still remember. Darn it! When I went to see Yevtushenko read once, the KGB was always in the back row there, and also another experience I had. I was in New York when the Cubans first got permission, the Cuban Ballet with Alicia Alonso. Yes. They got permission, and that was amazing. There was so much security around. It was unbelievable, but it was such a joy to see that company. And again, the security was amazing. I even managed to get in during halftime for that one, which was quite a feat because they had so many police and CIA. Everybody was. I still got in at halftime.
Yeah, the Russian officials were cliches.
Yeah.
Double-breasted suits, all of them, and wider than the state of something.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jean. What a wonderful